how Shohei Ohtani happened.
Run game, the dream matchup.
It's easy to see why someone might call this a dream matchup. It's the final out of the 2023 World Baseball Classic between the two best baseball countries, the USA, who invented baseball, and Japan, whose own baseball culture has thrived for more than a century.
Isn't baseball the biggest sport in Japan by like a long shot? And baseball's not the biggest sport. People would say baseball is America's sport like 30, 40 years ago, but I feel like what is the U.S.'s sport now is most definitely football, right? Like I feel like people care less about the World Series than the Super Bowl. Super Bowl's big fucking event. Super Bowl's a huge fucking event in the U.S. What's Japan's biggest sport? Baseball. Often called the country's pastime with a huge number of fans who follow professional leagues and high school tournaments. Yeah, Japan, interestingly, has like one of the coolest tournaments in like baseball in general. I think it's like every high school team or like every participating high school team is like a one elimination tournament. And so it's like thousands of teams. Japan high school tournament number of teams. 48 teams from a prefectural qualifying system and National High School Baseball Championship featuring 49 teams. And dude, they get like stadiums full of people to watch like high schoolers play baseball. Like it is huge there, and I never even knew that until like 2 years ago.
1 ball, no strikes.
It's also a matchup between the two best players.
And I'm not even like shocked, I guess, that baseball's big in Japan. I'm more so shocked that like the best baseball players in the U.S. right now, or at least the MVP, and like two of the best players on the Dodgers are not even from the U.S. Whereas you would assume the NFL, like how many foreign players are in the NFL? Why are there not more foreign players in the NFL? It's so weird to me how, like, baseball is kind of getting more and more full of, like, non-U.S. players, but the NFL just has, like, largely U.S. audiences. I feel like it's because there's, like, very similar sports worldwide, like rugby. Like, rugby's big. Throw it in sub only. Like, rugby's big or other shit that is, like, similar, I guess, like, contact sport-wise, and soccer is one of the biggest sports in the world. But I find it weird how more people from other countries wouldn't want to go to the NFL because so many foreign players play in the NBA, more foreign players play in the MLB. Why would not more foreign players play in the NFL? Because I feel like the contracts in the NFL are fucking absurd. They're some of the highest paying contracts in modern day sports.
Mike Trout, one of the best American hitters ever, and Shohei Ohtani. Mike Trout, one of the best American hitters ever, and Shohei Ohtani, the best Japanese pitcher ever, the best Japanese hitter ever, and some say the best baseball player ever.
The 1-0 pitch.
Didn't Shohei Ohtani just have the best baseball game ever played, where he hit like 3 homers and pitched like an insane game?
Swing and a miss.
I'm not a big MLB fan. Like, I don't watch baseball that often, but I feel like even as a non-baseball watcher, everybody's heard of Shohei Ohtani.
A fastball at 100.
Recency bias, but I guess.
But I think this is more than a dream matchup between two great teams.
2-1. 2-2.
Or even two great players.
The count goes full.
It's the moment baseball's past met baseball's future.
Ohtani's ready. Trout's ready. 3-2.
And the future won.
He struck him out! Japan's back on top of the baseball world.
The at-bat symbolized the passing of the torch from baseball being America's pastime to baseball being a global game.
This is the story of
Global game in the sense of two countries. Outside of the U.S. and Japan, what other countries love baseball? I feel like cricket is much larger in other countries. Yeah, Dominican Republic, but outside of that, China likes basketball in terms of American sports. Canada maybe, but like even then, Canada's main sport is hockey.
how Japan produced the best baseball player ever, and how he's paving the way to baseball's future.
Yeah, like global sports. What are global sports? Track and field, soccer. That's about all I would say is global. And I would say basketball is getting global. I think basketball is pretty big. Tennis, yeah. Like I'm more talking team sports rather than like singles or doubles, like solo shit. Yes, swimming, but I'm saying more invented games. Like, yeah, there's events in track and swimming, but like it's just an athletic activity, you know, that's turned into a sport versus like a thing with rules. Sperm racing, yeah, I heard that's on the rise.
For many years, the American pastime has been the Japanese pastime.
I hate hearing that accent. I hate hearing that accent because every time I hear it, I think about how it's not even a real fucking accent, and it's literally the transatlantic accent that was purposefully made for the effect of feeling fancy and rich rather than it actually being a way people fucking speak. Nobody talks like that. That guy, when he gets off the fucking mic, just sounds like me. Well, we have old Curly walking up to the plate, seeing if he'll hit this base. Oh, and he strikes out.
For many years, the American pastime has been the Japanese pastime.
Americans introduced baseball.
Football announcers still have that voice? I would not say football announcers have a transatlantic accent. They talk in an announcer voice, but not a transatlantic accent. That shit's fucking annoying.
To Japan around the 1870s. So it's no surprise that American and Japanese baseball share
They talk more professional. Like if I was commentating on an NFL game, they'd be like, and he takes it home. Or not an NFL game, not a baseball game. And he takes it home. Shohei Ohtani, one of the best players we've seen thus far this season. They like deepen their voice. They talk more obnoxiously.
a lot in common. First and foremost, it's an obsession.
Here is a stadium packed for Japan's high school baseball tournament, 1920. Shinto priests.
Wild, too. 1920 packed for a fucking high school football game or a baseball game. Dude, no high school fucking baseball game in the United States is getting anywhere near that level of crowd.
Blessing home plate.
There's one set of bleachers with a drunk dad and an annoying divorced couple just sitting on the side. They really want to both see their son or daughter play softball or baseball, but they fucking hate each other, so they sit fucking 4 feet away from each other. No.
Opening day, 1931. And Babe Ruth.
Little League games do? Little League games do not have a crowd. Little League games have a crowd of parents and family members of the players. It's commonplace in Japan to go to a high school baseball game to watch it because it's entertaining. If you were just a random guy that pulled up to a high school baseball game today, people would be like, why the fuck are you here?
Ruth, swarmed by fans in
Unless it's literally like a high-level tournament. Like, if it's like a national level, that's different. Like, if you're at, like, it's the same thing with, like, other sports, like track events. Like, New Balance Nationals, people just pull up to.
Tokyo, 1934.
That's just not true. It's because you live in New Jersey. But it's baseball, man. I think the equivalent of Japan's high school baseball turnout would be Texas's high school football. Football in Texas is so big that, like, high school games matter. Like, people will go and rep their city's high school for a fucking football game, right? Like, that's different. But I feel like that doesn't happen for, like, what state does that for baseball?
The U.S. crushed Japan in World War II, but baseball helped the two countries become allies soon after.
This isn't big league stuff yet, but someday it may be.
Japan's Nippon Professional Baseball League was structured a lot like the U.S.'s Major League Baseball. Teams were divided into two leagues, and some even shared the same name. But the two leagues didn't always see eye to eye.
What's the hardest baseball name? Hold up. Or baseball team? Being on the Hawks would be pretty fucking sick. Colt 45s, Angels, White Sox, Braves, Tigers, Dodgers, Giants.
Two leagues didn't always...
Is Colt 45 still a team?
Some even...
The Dragons? Yeah, that would be the sickest.
...shared the same name.
The Dragons.
But the two leagues didn't always see eye to eye. In the mid-20th century, American teams often looked down on Japanese talent. And while some American players played in Japan, they typically were near retirement. Meanwhile, Japanese players were often pressured to stay in Japan.
Part of it was wanting to like maintain Japanese culture and pride.
Jun Lee's been reporting on baseball for a decade. He was on ESPN. Now he runs one of my favorite YouTube channels.
It is swung on and foul tipped by Lee.
This was kind of where Japan was.
I truly believe facing a baseball is one of the scariest things. I would not be good enough to play professional baseball, but even if I was, I would be so scared to stand next to the plate while the pitcher on the mound's throwing fucking piss missiles. just fucking straight at me. Like, you get hit in the face, dude, you just fucking break your jaw.
Like, politically, over the course of, like, a lot of the 20th century, which was culture that was very inward focused.
It all came to a head over this guy, pitcher Masanori Murakami. In 1964, the Nankai Hawks sent him to the San Francisco Giants minor league team, just for some experience. But Murakami impressed the Giants, who started him on their major league squad. Murakami became Major League Baseball's first Japanese-born player and dominated the rest of the season. But when the Giants gave him a contract, the Hawks objected. The two leagues argued for months until reaching a compromise. Murakami would play with the Giants for one season, then return to Japan. And from then on, MLB teams were prohibited from directly signing Japanese players, and vice versa.
Really? When did that fucking change?
It widened the gulf between the two leagues. American players continued to go to Japan, but no Japanese player appeared in Major League Baseball for the next 30 years. They stayed in Japan and developed a distinct style of playing.
Very quickly, I want to show you something.
Do you think that's why, like, Shohei Ohtani and other players are really good, is because they get different training and play different than American players? So when they go against them, it's like a whole different spin of play or pitching or...
Pretty cool. Machinists at Henson
how they work.
started out making aerospace machinery.
What the fuck am I looking at? Oh, is this a sponsor?
Your wallet too. Henson's line stays flat because when you over time, and turns out better for your wallet too. This chart shows the cost of razor ownership when you
Damn!
Differently than American people, and so they
My
have
monitor
adapted
just
the
turned off.
Japanese game
My monitor
to
just turned off. It just randomly just tried to refresh. What the fuck?
kind of suit the physical strengths and weaknesses that Japanese people have, and as a result, stylistically, the game is very different than what you would see in the United States.
Great American batters have power. They swing for the fences. While great Japanese batters have consistency. They hit more singles, doubles, even bunts to get on base. Great American
Playing the long game versus fucking ripping it. Just trying. That's all I would do if I played baseball. Getting a single sucks. I'd want to hit that shit out of the fucking park.
pitchers rely on velocity, throwing 100-mile-per-hour fastballs past batters. While Japanese pitchers rely more on craftiness, throwing forkballs, splitters, and sinkers to fool batters. In Japan, baseball players are also known to train far more often and with far more intensity.
This is just kind of the culture around the sport, that the repetition builds strength. It requires this intense level of discipline.
Still, many Americans doubted Japanese players would succeed in the U.S. if they could ever get there. Then in 1995, pitcher Hideo Nomo found a loophole. The Kintetsu Buffaloes owned his contract, but Nomo simply retired at age 26. Legally, a retired player could go anywhere, so Nomo went to the LA Dodgers.
That doesn't really seem like much of a loophole, no? All right, I'm done playing baseball. I'm going to go move to the U.S. All right, I don't really want to play baseball anymore. I'm going to go move to the U.S. Actually, I kind of do. I got a second wind. I think I want to start playing baseball again.
His twisting windup flummoxed American batters, and he went on to win Rookie of the Year and start the All-Star game.
Waved at and missed. And down goes Martinez. And down goes Bell. And who would have figured Hideo Nomo, last year pitching in Japan.
Nomo also got more Japanese fans.
Yo, that's actually so much aura, too, to fucking move countries to go play in another team's fucking league and then just maul them. Like, I always wonder how, like, Jokic feels. Or, like, any foreign NBA player that just dominates in the U.S. just coming over and just fucking literally just dumpstering everybody.
To start paying attention to American baseball. But his loophole made NPB owners worried their best players would leave. So in 1998, it made a new system where a Japanese team could do what's called posting a player to allow MLB teams to bid on him. Then the Japanese team could send him in exchange for a fee. Finally, a pipeline existed between the two best baseball leagues. And over the next 20 years, a steady stream of talented pitchers and hitters developed in Japan.
I don't don't understand though why they can't just go pro in the MLB straight out of like high school or college. I know a lot of MLB players in the US sign right out of high school, but it's like, why even go into the Japanese Pro League? Like, why go to the NPB if you could just go straight to the MLB?
Then went to the US, where they won awards and World Series, broke records, and made the Hall of Fame, all along proving that the Japanese style could thrive in the US.
Ichiro is kind of the ultimate manifestation of this, where he hit often less than 10 home runs a year, but he would get 300 hits in a season. I think they completely changed the perception of what was possible if we brought over Japanese players to the United States.
But Shohei Ohtani was different. He threw nearly 100 miles an hour, smashed home runs, and he was only in high school.
Yo! Nah. Like, how are there people that are just that good? Like, he's throwing 100 miles an hour in high school, and he's pitching and batting. People, like, when I talk to my friends that love baseball, they always just glaze the shit out of him. They're like, he's 2 players in 1. So it doesn't matter that they're paying him fucking $800 million delayed. It's worth it because they're effectively getting 2 of the best players in both of the biggest positions.
Heard of Shohei Ohtani when he was 16 years old because I'm a baseball sicko and I was following what was happening in the Japanese baseball tournament Koshien.
The century-old tournament is watched by millions in Japan, and in 2012, everyone was watching Ohtani, including major league teams.
He was kind of unlike any player that...
Bro, imagine having an MLB team. Do you think, like, who's somebody in the NFL, NBA, or MLB right now that was, like, getting looked at when they were a senior in high school? Like, the first guy that comes to my mind, oh my God, what is his fucking name? I don't watch the NBA. Oh my God, what is his name, bro? He dunks like crazy. Not LeBron. Bronny also got looked at because it was like, you know, you're LeBron James' kid. Who's the guy? Zion Williamson, I feel like, is the equivalent. I remember when he was in high school, because I was in high school. I was like a freshman when he was like a senior. And he was like the fucking news. Everybody was like, this kid's gone pro. Like, in a high school game, he would just fucking hit a spin dunk on people like it was nothing.
They had ever come out of Japan.
Fucking windmill that shit. Literally in a finals game, these just fucking, 80 to fucking 10.
And
the Yankees, Red Sox, Rangers, and Dodgers wanted Ohtani to skip the NPB entirely and sign directly with them as a pitcher. Ohtani wanted that too. In 2012, he warned NPB teams not to draft him, but the Nippon Ham Fighters did anyway. It put Ohtani in a unique position. He could refuse to play for the Fighters, or use his leverage to pressure them into letting him do something no American team ever would. Two-way players are a thing of the past. That's someone who's both a pitcher and a position player, like Babe Ruth. But since the 1940s, no one in the major leagues really pulled it off. And today, no one's really allowed to try.
Being a pitcher and a batter is like playing 2 completely different sports. They require 2 completely different skill sets, 2 completely different approaches, and that wear and tear really, really adds up. A major league team, if they had gotten Ohtani at 18 years old, would have just forced him to become a pitcher.
But the Fighters were more willing to let him try both. So Ohtani made the
wow, so if he got signed when he was younger, he never would have been able to bat?
Decision to stay in Japan.
If Ohtani had grown up in Arkansas, he doesn't become the player that he is. He was this massive power hitter. There's a video of him hitting a baseball into the roof of the Tokyo Dome. And the fact that he was also doing it while being one of the...
Does that count as like out of play or something? If you hit the fucking ceiling in a stadium, so it's still in play. It falls down, they could catch it and it's out.
Best pitchers in NPB was kind of blowing everyone's mind.
But after 5 years in Japan, Ohtani still faced doubts in the US. So in 2017, when the Fighters posted him, Ohtani turned down bids from big market teams and instead went to the LA Angels, where he again used his leverage to be a two-way player. In his first at-bat in LA, Ohtani did this.
That's out toward right center field.
Dude, first at bat, another team, nuke it. Bang! Just fucking rips it out. Stop. You know, right there and then, too, the dude that was, like, responsible for getting him signed was just like, yes, yes.
Big fly.
Just fucking so happy.
In 2021, he hit 46 home runs and went 9-2 on the mound, becoming the first player to be an all-star as a hitter and a pitcher. Ohtani was fast.
Oh my God, how much do you think that ball's worth? I feel like that's got to be on the market. Oh my God, Shohei Ohtani's first home run ball price. It's worth at least $100,000. Oh, Shohei Ohtani's first run ball as a Dodger is worth $100,000. It could be worth up to $3 million. First run ball price as Angel just says over $100K. Dude, I feel like there's somebody that would pay like $1 million for that.
Becoming the most exciting player baseball had seen in decades. And by 2024, he didn't need leverage anymore. The LA Dodgers signed him for $700 million, nearly double the next highest contract, because he really was two players in one. Actually, he was the two best players in one. Wins above replacement measures a player's total value, and in the last 5 years, Ohtani has the highest in the majors. And just last week, Ohtani played probably the greatest game in baseball history. He struck out 10 batters and gave up only 2 hits over 6 innings. And
I'm not a baseball expert, but in the beginning, somebody was like recency bias. And I will say, yeah, like recency bias is true of a lot of things. But like people will still be like, well, Babe Ruth. I'm like, well, Babe Ruth was like a 50-year-old fucking chronic cigarette smoker that played in like what, the fucking 1920s or some shit. Expert. When did Babe Ruth play? Like, it's the same premise. Dude, yeah, he was born in 1895. Like, it's the idea of, like, yeah, you're comparing apples to oranges of, like, dude, the game's entirely different now. Ohtani is undeniably the best player of all time. That's what I would even say in, like, basketball, people still argue about that. About, like, MJ. And I feel like that's an easier argument to have where you're, like, trying to compare, like, MJ to LeBron or something. But some people, where it's like, dude, there's so many, I don't want to say unks, but there's people that like hardcore defend like old like MVP players. But I'm like, dude, they were also good in a time where everybody else was ass or much worse.
And hit not 1, not 2, but 3 home runs to send the Dodgers to the World Series. Ohtani's a new kind of baseball player, mixing
Barry Bonds. Wasn't Barry Bonds also on a drastic amount of steroids?
American style.
Or am I wrong? I'm not a baseball expert. Wasn't Barry Bonds like fucking juiced to the gills? Like at that point, you could be like, yeah, okay, Barry Bonds, let's put Shohei Ohtani on steroids, and he would be fucking insane. Like he would be even more good, even crazier.
Power and Japanese style consistency on both sides of the ball. But he only got the chance to do it because he started playing baseball in Japan.
Shohei Ohtani is America's
So do you think that Shohei Ohtani is going to change how the MLB recruits and places players, even not in Japan? Like, do you think the training regimen that like high school and college baseball teams are going to do is like they're more open to two-way players?
Packed, reimagined, and then repackaged back to itself.
Yeah, they're going to want the next two-way player because that carries the teams.
Now Ohtani's bringing the two best baseball leagues closer together than ever.
Impossible.
Imagine getting force walked 10 times in the World Series because other teams know you'll beat them single-handedly. Yeah, no, didn't they just they would just keep purposefully walking him? Like, I didn't watch any of the World Series, but I did hear that he was able to pitch, but they wanted to cut out his capability of play. So they would just walk him, give him a base, which is much better than them potentially giving up a home run.
Theater. And in a one-run game, the dream matchup.
Now, why was this moment so important? It's because it was the first moment.
I understand that's like a needed part of the game and it is a strategy, but isn't that a little lame, like that you're able to just walk players? I mean, in the same sense, it's like kneeling the ball in football. If like you're up and there's, a minute left on the clock, you could just run the timer down. Like, I feel like every sport has some lame ass, loophole where you could just fucking nerf people.
That Japanese baseball and American baseball shared a superstar.
You're giving them a base? Yeah, but you're giving them a base because you know that if you don't, they're going to fuck on you. like, if you don't give them the base, they're just going to maul you.
In the US, it was the most watched WBC game ever. But in Japan, 42% of households tuned in. Even though
42%? Oh my God, dude. That's the equivalent of like the Super Bowl for the US. What percentage of households watch the Super Bowl? 41 to 43%. It's bigger. In Japan, this was larger than the Super Bowl or just about the same.
It was 8 in the morning there. In 2025, MLB saw higher viewership across US TV and a 20% increase on Japanese TV, making it the most watched season ever there. Ohtani's also getting more Japanese fans to come to Major League games.
Which is making American companies more money, so they're going to fucking start signing people like crazy.
When I asked June to come on this episode, he texted back from Dodger Stadium, where he saw scores of Ohtani fans, Ohtani jerseys in English and Japanese, Japanese beer, and a giant homage to Ohtani on a Japanese-themed hotel. This is just the beginning for MLB.
I had a conversation.
Oh my God, do you think Shohei Ohtani's on like everything in Japan? I would love to see that. Like the equivalent of how we have like Patrick Mahomes and other like quarterbacks just on so many adverts. Oh, he's got to be on like every product there. He's got to be the most known athlete in Japan.
An executive over Major League Baseball, and they said that Shohei Ohtani was their entire international growth strategy. They view Shohei Ohtani as their Messi and Ronaldo figure, the type of person who almost becomes bigger than the sport to get people in the door, to care and invest emotionally in it.
Ohtani may even give MLB an edge over its competitors. U.S. sports leagues are racing to become global leagues. The NFL is playing games in Europe and South America. The NBA is in Asia.
I think the NFL has, just as from my biased perspective, I think the NFL has a lot of weird rules that make it harder to get into, but the premise, NFL is the toughest road, but I think it has the highest potential because people like watching other people tackle the fuck out of each other. Like, it's like, the NFL, dude, even if you don't know, if you know none of the sports, you just love watching. Like, watching football is fun.
Show.
You got rugby, though? Yeah, but, like, I don't, rugby as a competitor. I feel like the NBA is the most global, if I had to guess, out of the three big sports.
Hosting a league in Africa and talking about creating a league in Europe. They're competing to win over new fans in other countries. But nothing wins over fans in another country like a superstar from that country.
The lesson from Ohtani is that sometimes
I think that's why the NBA is big too. That's the problem with the NFL. If the NFL starts signing fucking random ass European and fucking Asian and African players to the league, dude, oh my God, I feel like that'll start. Like, if you just had like some guy from fucking Germany as like an O lineman, I feel like people would be like, I need to watch this. Like, if he's like the best, but they would have to be really good.
that means letting a player do something different.
Because Ohtani is an Ohtani if he's not a two-way player. And he's not a two-way player if he doesn't play first in Japan. And he doesn't play first in Japan if not for generations of players who perfected baseball the Japanese way.
America invented baseball, but it has been elevated by someone who is not from the United States. He breaks all of the unwritten rules of what people thought was possible for someone to accomplish as a baseball player.
Wow.
Okay, thanks so much for watching.
I loved that video, and I'm not even that big of a fan of baseball, but I love keeping track of like the news in sports, cinema.